Hey guys, I just want to make a really quick video about my thoughts on the Pokemon TCG as of now. This is going to be just an impromptu video where I just just free reign. I'm talking, and hopefully you're here to listen. So I want to give you guys just a little story for those of you that are unfamiliar with, the XY era and Sun and Moon and all of that. Evolutions was coming out well into Sun and Moon. You could get Sun and Moon products like Beware, GX box that released around probably around like the Guardians Rising around that time. So early on in the Sun and Moon expansion, you could get Evolutions packs still. And those of us in the hobby back then were actually getting kind of sick of getting Evolutions packs. I began just not even opening them anymore because I had already, gotten everything that I wanted from the set. I'm like, what else do I really need? Do I need just duplicates, triplicates? What do I really want? So at that time, it was a little bit still, there was a little bit of time before, everybody and their mother got into the hobby. People were saying there were some channels that were dedicating themselves to investments even back then, but it hadn't taken over like it has now. Anyway, but at that time, people were saying Evolutions is, not worth it. The booster boxes were still relatively cheap. We were all, like I said, complaining about how you were still getting booster packs in Sun and Moon product. And what I was arguing at that time was that Evolutions was the alternative at that time to base set. And it was a nostalgic set. And I said, despite what everyone may think, this set is going to be the alternative, the popular alternative to base set, because it's inevitably going to succeed because it has those cards that give you that nostalgic feeling, but it is giving you them at a discount. So that's just glossing over the surface of what I want to say. But what I have a problem with is people that are saying merely because something is going up in value, like Rebel Clash or like Sun and Moon Base, even, or Vivid Voltage in particular. I think Vivid Voltage is probably one of the weakest sets of the modern era. These sets, the cards that are desirable in the sets are so limited, so limited, and they are in PSA 10 or PSA 9, times infinity. There's probably a ton of cards that remain ungraded from those sets because I myself have a lot of cards that I haven't graded from the Sun and Moon era or from the Sword and Shield era, just because I don't necessarily need to grade them. I'm quite happy with them the way that they are in their top loaders and everything. And there just isn't that incentive for me to grade them because I don't know that I look to sell them. And I genuinely believe that they may become valuable. Some of them, some select cards from this era will become valuable because they are unique. They have lore, they have that appeal of like a story, like Moonbryon. It's going to be a memorable card. Inevitably, it's going to be memorable because everyone's going to remember chasing it, just like Charizard. But there's a lot of cards that just aren't going to succeed. They're printed to oblivion. They're being bought out. This is all artificial. The growth that happened with Evolutions, for instance, is organic because people entered the hobby and found that they wanted a product. And when people first started getting interested in Evolutions, they were opening it. They were doing videos where they were opening it. And that's where there's a genuine interest, when people are opening the product. People have largely stopped opening, Evolving Skies. People have stopped opening it. You do not find a lot of openings on YouTube anymore of Evolving Skies. And that is a sign that is alarming, because when you have people consuming the sealed product with no interest in opening it, that's when you have to be concerned. Because even PokeRev or Leonhardt, they're opening product. They're opening product because they know that there's a card in there, in that set, that they can obtain that would exceed the price of that booster box. Even though they've paid, an enormous amount for that booster box, they still may pull a card that's in a certain condition, can exceed the price that they paid for that booster box. You cannot say that about a lot of these modern sets, and you won't be able to say that because they are printed in such a quantity and they are graded at a PSA 10 or a BGS 10 or a CGC 10 in such a quantity that if you genuinely wanted that card, you will likely never, ever be paying more than you would for the sealed product. So what you have to start thinking about is, what is the actual organic appeal of these sets you're choosing to invest in because someone told you to, because someone told you that you're going to be missing out if you don't get this. There is no interest. There is no interest. I can tell you right now that you ask anybody who has a Vivid Voltage ETB or booster box, they will likely tell you they have no interest in opening it. None. You look at a Burning Shadows, for instance, and you might say, yes, I might open that, because the price of the top card in the set exceeds the price that you will pay for a booster box. But a lot of sets, you cannot say that. You cannot say that the top card well exceeds the price of the booster box. And the thing is these cards in PSA 10 or BGS 10 they are performing well, but they are not showing the growth that, for instance, a Burning Shadows Charizard showed. When you look at how much a Burning Shadows Charizard costs in a PSA 10, it initially started at about $500 in a PSA 10. And it has grown to over $3,000 in a PSA 10. And that growth happened gradually over the years. It didn't happen overnight. It began in 500 to 800, then it got to, you don't see that anymore. It is, you got to be careful who you listen to. And you have to be interested in what you're buying. If you are buying a set that you don't actually truly believe is a strong set, that you actually don't truly want a card or two from, that's a crucial thing. Do you want just one card, or do you want two? Do you want three? Is there four that you might want? Then you can start to think that that set might actually be worth your time. But you have to be careful. And I feel bad for everyone who's in this hobby now and that came in, in 2020 or even in 2021, because you just don't know what it had been like and how you can make the comparison to what is healthy in this hobby and what's not. Because I can tell you a lot of what you're being told isn't healthy. So I wish you all the best in your collecting goals, and I'll try to make a, more detailed video where I, do something rather than just ramble. But I'm really upset with a lot of the content I've been seeing and a lot of the advice that's been given to you by other people that just really have no clue. So I wish you guys all a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.